The coronavirus has the U.S. under siege. More than 5,000 deaths have been reported. Meanwhile, the FDA approves a test that could detect if a person has been exposed to the coronavirus.
It's developed by Celex, a key step that will help identify people who have recovered and to understand their immune response and their immune system.
And we've got a look at the pandemic from across the country with updates from the White House and from students to see how they're faring in the middle of the crisis. That's up next.
Hi, I'm Max Brooks. I'm 47 years old. This is my dad, Mel Brooks.
Hi, Dad.
He's 93. If I get the coronavirus, I'll probably be okay. But if I give it to him, he could give it to Carl Reiner, who could give it to Dick Van Dyke, and before I know it, I've wiped out a whole generation of comedic legends. When it comes to coronavirus, I have to think about who I can infect, and so should you. So practice social distancing. Avoid crowds, wash your hands, keep 6 feet away from people, and if you've got the option to stay home, just stay home. Do your part, don't be a spreader. Right, Dad?
Right. Go home.
I'm going.
Go.
Love you.
Welcome to the Rundown. I'm Alyssa Torres.
And I'm Marissa Bradley. As the coronavirus continues its tear across the globe and leaves no community safe, scientists have continued to be stumped by the virus. One interesting fact is that the tendency of the mortality rate is about 2.5 times higher in males than it is in females who are infected. This is certainly due to the fact that females have 2 X chromosomes and males only have 1. X chromosomes are crucial to building up immune systems and antibodies that help fight off diseases and infections. Hopefully a cure is near or no one is safe.
The coronavirus has gone from an unthinkable threat to a dominant force to the United States overnight. The South in particular, as the most deaths in the U.S. have happened in Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi. The statistics are showing that more young people than ever are battling health conditions that are connected to the coronavirus. These numbers show that more people under 70 are likely to die from coronavirus more than any other state, as 43% of people under 70 have died in Louisiana and 49% in Georgia. The Food and Drug Administration has approved a test that could detect whether an asymptomatic person has been exposed to the coronavirus. Skylar Henry reports from the White House.
The FDA granted emergency use approval for a test that can detect whether a person has developed antibodies to COVID-19.
The peace of mind that would come from knowing you already were infected, you have antibody, you're safe from reinfection 99.9% of the time.
Meanwhile, the White House continues to discuss other measures to stop the spread, including a limited domestic travel ban.
We look at that literally every day. It really depends on what city you're talking about and from where you are coming, but no decisions have been made about banning travel within the domestic United States.
President Trump says the national stockpile is nearly depleted of personal protective equipment as state governors continue to plead for more supplies.
The president used the Defense Production Act Thursday to help 6 domestic companies secure the components they need to build more ventilators. Democrats also want the president to open a special enrollment period under the Affordable Care Act exchanges, which would allow those who've previously opted out to sign up for health insurance coverage.
We are the wealthiest country on the planet Earth. Everyone here in a health crisis should have access to health care.
So far, the administration has refused. Some state-run healthcare exchanges have opened up enrollment to allow the uninsured to obtain coverage during the coronavirus crisis. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
And now Connor Mason with the White House updates.
Thanks, Alyssa. The Trump administration is faced with a larger task than usual, which is trying to keep the entire nation inside until the coronavirus passes. The latest report from the White House is that there are now 225,998 cases with 5,311 deaths, and has now passed Italy for the most coronavirus cases in the world, which is now expecting to rise up to 10,000 to 240,000 people to die from the virus in the next coming months, the White House said. America continues to wage our all-out war to defeat the virus, this horrible, horrible virus, President Trump said. And we explain why we're extending our nationwide guidelines to slow the spread to 30 days. Together, we have the power to save countless lives. We are attacking the virus on every front with social distancing, economic support for our workers, rapid medical intervention, and very serious innovation. Trump concluded the statement by saying, "In this time of need, I know that every American will do their patriotic duty and help us to achieve a total victory." Vice President Pence made an appearance on ABC's Nightline Wednesday night, saying that Trump has no plans for a nationwide lockdown at this time. He also said that a realistic goal for things to go back to normal is June 1st. "We believe we're in a much better place by June the 1st, Pence said. "If every American will put these guidelines into practice, if we all continue to do our part, we really do believe that by Memorial Day weekend or by early summer, we can be through the hardest part of this."
Thanks for that update, Connor. The coronavirus pandemic has affected everyone. Students are feeling the strain as the courses have resumed online at Rowan University. In this special team coverage, we're getting a number of perspectives. We start with Frank, who joins us with some campus updates.
Hello, everybody. So today we have a couple updates on what's closing and what's not closing on campus.
Is the Technical Assistance Center closed for walk-in service?
Yes, it will be closed for the next coming weeks. They're still giving out assistance for like any technical issues for students, like computers and stuff like that. So the way to contact them is to go to support.rowan.edu, and they will give you service through phone calls or video calls. And if you need more assistance with more hardware stuff, they can come and visit you, but you have to do an appointment, and only one person can be in the room.
Is the Rowan Writing Center going online?
They are also going online. They're going to be closed down their offices that were in the library, but they are still going to be giving out assistance to all the students, just like the tech center. Through the way that students are going to approach this is they're going to contact them at rowanwritingcenter.com, and they will contact them, send them the paper or that they're working on, and then they will receive feedback through phone or video 24 hours later after that.
Is the psychology conference and ceremony canceled?
Yeah, they canceled that a couple of days ago because they were discussing it on about having it like online because this is one of the most important psychology events that the psychology school does here at Rowan, and so they were planning on having it online, but ultimately decided to move on and just cancel it. But we'll see what they do for the coming years.
Thank you, Frank. A team of Rowan University faculty and students race against the pandemic to create 3D printed face masks to address a predicted shortage of personnel protective equipment for South Jersey's healthcare workers and emergency responders. The work began early Sunday morning with an email from Ben Sirocco, a research and digital services librarian for Cooper Medical School of Rowan University, requesting help from Dr. Shrikant Mandiam, a professor in Rowan's Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, and George Leakakes, a PhD engineering student and director of Rowan's Virtual Reality Center, who came together to make this project happen. Rowan University offers a pass no credit option for spring of 2020. Because of the COVID-19 crisis, Provost Anthony Lohman of Rowan University stated, quote, "To ensure that both have maximum flexibility to decide what is best for you, Rowan University is establishing a pass no credit grading policy for this term. This does not apply to our MD, DO, and PhD degree programs," end quote. Pass no credit will ensure that grades above a D get a passing grade that won't affect the student's GPA.
As the coronavirus continues to spread, all universities across the U.S. have sent all of their students home and demand classes will be online for the rest of the year. Rowan University has been doing their part in these steps and have also made changes for the upcoming school year in 2020. Vice President of Enrollment Management, Serena Gosh, said that Rowan anticipates a return to normalcy sooner rather than later and changed its admission policy so its incoming students may prepare to start their college careers as expected. Just this week, students at Rowan University were required to move out of their dorms by Tuesday. Our own Maurice Ware moved out before that time, but works in the thick of things at Walgreens. Maurice, how are things?
Uh, Things are a little hectic here, to be completely honest. I've been staying in my house in Pittman with the occasional travel over one city over to Glassboro, and it's not too good, to be completely honest.
How crazy is it there?
Well, as I said, it's not too good, but I wouldn't say it's as bad as other places. As of March 30th, which was a couple days ago, there have only been 72 reported cases. As for specifically where I am, it's only one in Pittman and 10 in Glassboro. So it's not as bad as anywhere else. I feel like mostly it's just the people. When you go to shopping centers, like Marissa mentioned, I do work at Walgreens. And at Walgreens and ShopRite and other stores that are open, people have been fighting crazily trying to buy up all the toilet paper, all the hand sanitizer, stuff like that. I feel like it's mostly the people being crazy than the actual virus.
How is the illness being so contained?
Um, like I said, I don't think we're doing anything special. I think it's pretty much just geography. Pittman's a pretty small place. It's spacious, a lot of suburban areas. It's not like where most where the coronavirus is most like outbroken in high populated areas like New York City and Essex County, which are two of the highest places, highest reported cases as of right now. So I think mostly it's just geography, just spacious.
Are there any precautions still being taken?
I mean, of course, there's an enforced curfew of 8 p.m. Schools have been closed until April 17th at the earliest. Many stores are closing early, reducing their hours. Walgreens in particular, we've sold out of toilet paper and a lot of other things. So we're starting to limit the amount of items people can buy. Only per household, you can only buy 2 rolls of toilet paper, 1 container hand sanitizer, et cetera, et cetera. So, those are majority of the precautions being taken to try and get us through this.
Based on what you've seen, how much longer do you think this will last?
Based on what I've seen, like I said, I'm in smaller cities, so it's not that many cases. It's not really bad here. So based on what I've seen, it shouldn't be lasting that long. But we shouldn't be worried about like the smaller towns. The durability of this will be based off of the bigger name cities. When New York is finally reduced to a safe number, when Essex County is finally reduced to a safer number in cities and bigger, more populated areas like that are contained, I think that's when all this will finally start to pass. But until then, hey.
Thank you, Maurice, for those answers.
You're very welcome.
Wawa has announced it will be closing one of its locations in Cherry Hill to be professionally disinfected after an employee was tested positive for COVID-19. The store plans to work with the local Department of Health to notify employees who may have interacted with the affected associate. The chain has no definite date as to when the Cherry Hill store will be ready to reopen.
As of Wednesday, there's now a drive-through and walk-up coronavirus site in Camden. It's scheduled to run through April 15th and will be open Monday through Friday from noon to 4 p.m. Officials say that they can administer up to 60 tests a day and do not plan on turning anyone away.
When we come back, a look at the virus that has close to 90 million people in their homes through the eyes of Kevin Harold, who will join us from Tennessee. The White House Coronavirus Task Force is estimating that Tennessee could see thousands of COVID-19 deaths before the end of the outbreak. Kevin, can you give us a glimpse of how things are going in Murfreesboro, Tennessee?
Yeah, out here in Tennessee, people are social distancing is ordered. The playgrounds are empty and all places such as malls and everything are closed down. The grocery stores are the only places still open, just like everywhere else in the country. You could tell that unlike some places in the country, the good people of Tennessee are taking this pandemic seriously. Although there are a lot of cars on the street, you don't really see people in public spaces or outside unless it's at the grocery store or Walmart. Here's a quick quarantine trick if you need electronics or little pieces of clothes. Walmart is still open because they sell groceries, so they qualify to be open. The area I'm in only has a few cases, but that doesn't stop the stores from taking extra measures. The stores have more supplies of wipes, so you can wipe down your carts as you're going in. While at Walmart earlier, I actually saw an employee wipe down the cart handles for a customer before they touched the cart. It looks like Walmart is taking extra precautions to stop the spread of the coronavirus, and other companies should follow suit. The restaurants are also all doing where you can only order out, but you can't sit inside. And remember, everybody, stay safe, practice social distancing, and don't catch the coronavirus.
Thank you, Kevin. New York City is doing a makeshift hospital, including inside of Central Park. They have tents set up across the Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. Volunteers from the International Christian Relief Organization set up an emergency field hospital for patients suffering from the coronavirus in Central Park. Almost 400 people died overnight in New York, bringing the death toll to 1,941 in total. They have a team of 80 doctors and nurses who are on the ground, and they are helping out critically ill and those who are suffering. Kumo says that most of the people on ventilators will sadly die.
A motel in New Jersey has become a makeshift hospital. 43 patients with underlying medical conditions from St. Mary's General Hospital was booked into Econo Lodge Motel in Carlstadt to protect them from coronavirus. A reporter from NBC New York went there, and he said that there were no nurses or healthcare personnel there. This was set up without the knowledge of the county or the governor's office. And now, Renee with entertainment.
With the pandemic of the coronavirus, celebrities continuously confess their infections. Recently, Idris and Sabrina Alba confessed being infected with COVID-19, and they are currently staying quarantined in their home. Also, we have Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, have also contracted coronavirus in Australia. Hanks was away to prepare for shooting his new movie when him and Wilson started to feel cold and flu symptoms. Lastly, Kevin Durant was unaware of his diagnosis as of March 12th with symptoms, and he is now staying quarantined at home. Now back to Marissa.
Thanks for the entertainment update, Renee. Pennsylvania residents can now purchase a limited number of alcohol online as liquor stores across the state remain closed until further notice. The Pennsylvania Liquor Stores Control Store announced on Wednesday, customers can now buy up to 6 bottles per order. The PLCB would also like to remind, quote, "We ask you for your patience and understanding, and as order fulfillment capacity increases, the PLCP will consider increasing the number of orders it's able to accept each day." A state court judge has dismissed a lawsuit over New Jersey's aid in dying law, while taking an extra step that could prevent future legal challenges that would delay terminally ill patients the decision to end their lives. Wednesday, Superior Court Judge Robert Logie in Mercer County ruled that doctors, pharmacists, and patients who objected to the law were not directly harmed or affected by it because it is voluntary. And now, over to Gary Erdely with a look at the sports world during the coronavirus.
With most of the sports world on pause, one professional sports organization prepares for their biggest event of the year. WWE is still having WrestleMania 36 this upcoming weekend, with World Wrestling Entertainment making some changes to the event. The one major change is the changing of the venue from Tampa Bay's Raymond James Stadium to the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, as well as changing the cards, spreading across 2 dates instead of one now on Saturday and Sunday. WWE executive and former superstar Triple H spoke with ESPN MMA's analyst Ariel Helwani on Wednesday and discussed why WWE decided to go through with the event, saying it felt like an obligation to go on with the biggest event in sports entertainment. Elsewhere in the UFC on Wednesday, Khabib Nurmagomedov announced that he would not fight at UFC 249, opting instead to follow quarantine guidelines and remain in his home country of Russia. The matchup between Tony Ferguson and Nurmagomedov has been canceled now 5 times, this one because of the coronavirus. UFC President Dana White has said the event will still go on. However, now the main event will need to be changed. Many in the UFC community believe that the title fight should still go on, but stripping Nurmagomedov of the title and having Ferguson fight for an interim belt. And finally, the Dallas Cowboys are giving Alden Smith a chance to resurrect his playing career, signing the talent but troubled defensive end to a 1-year deal worth $4 million. The 30-year-old Smith has not played a game in the NFL since he was suspended in 2015, but is still in the process of seeking reinstatement to the NFL. Now back to you guys.
Thank you, Gary. Now we have Dylan Peters sharing good deeds from across the nation. What have citizens been doing to help each other along during this crazy time?
Well, to be completely honest, Alyssa, people all over the country have been doing anything they possibly can to lend a hand. Josh Wills in Glenn County, Georgia, owns his own business called Clearview Services, where he provides services such as pressure washing. And his company posted on Facebook that they'll be washing all playgrounds in the county at school and public parks free of charge.
Are other efforts being made over there?
Yes, most churches order toilet paper and bread in bulk, and Reverend Tony Langford, senior pastor at First Baptist Church on St. Simon's in Simons Island, Georgia, decided to share the surplus amount of food and toilet paper the church had with the public. The church is also collecting food donations for Sparrow's Nest, a local food pantry.
What about in New Jersey? What are they doing?
Well, St. Hubert's Animal Welfare Center in Madison, New Jersey, provided pet food to those struggling to afford it. They opened a drive-through pet food bank where pet owners would stay in their vehicles and the food will be dropped off. The program is taking place Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Are people still trying to have fun in this time of uncertainty?
I'm not sure if fun is the right word, but citizens everywhere are trying to lighten the mood and still provide quality memories for each other. Erica Schultz, a Jersey City photographer, is taking part of a nationwide movement called Front Steps Project. Photographers around America will take portraits of families outside their homes. All the families have to do to be a part of these photos and make a charitable donation to people in need.
Thank you for the update, PJ. A ShopRite employee in Toms River recently tested positive for the coronavirus. This is the sixth known employee of the supermarket to have been diagnosed with the coronavirus. The other cases are located in Newark, Morristown, Garwood, Old Bridge, East Windsor. ShopRite of Fisher Bay released a statement on their Facebook page sharing the information and precautions being taken.
Actor John Krasinski, known for his role as Jim Halpert from the NBC show The Office, started his very own series. The online talk show is called Some Good News, and the first video was posted on YouTube Sunday. His show takes place in his home, with Krasinski showing heartwarming stories from across the world. He created the show to provide uplifting programming for the masses after asking his followers on social media to show him one.
Up next, we have the weather. Now let's get a look at the weather update with Alyssa.
Tonight it's going to be 43 degrees clear and windy, with the winds dying down a little bit after midnight. Taking a look at the 5-day forecast, tomorrow's going to be a high of 51 and a low of 45 and going to get a little cloudy. Saturday is going to be a bit warmer with the high only 57 and the low 43 and partly cloudy. Sunday is going to be mostly cloudy with the high of 61 and a low of 48. Monday it's going to get a bit warmer, mostly sunny with a high of 67 and a low of 47. And Tuesday it's going to continue that trend of warmer weather, but we will see some rain with a high of 69 and a low of 53. Even with this warm weather, be safe and follow precautions in these hard times. Thank you for watching the Rundown tonight. I'm Alyssa Torres.
And I'm Marissa Bradley. Have a good night, everyone.